The easiest game on the Chiefs' schedule, at least on paper, turned out to be a bit tougher than expected. Instead of a blowout, their trip to Charlotte required a clutch performance. Spencer Schrader's 31-yard field goal sealed a narrow 30-27 victory, offering relief rather than domination. The offense, led by Patrick Mahomes, delivered points on 6 drives, including a decisive 33-yard scramble that set up the game-winning kick as time expired. Now sitting at 10-1, the Chiefs still controlled their destiny for the AFC's #1 seed. Yet, their high ceiling comes with an unpredictable floor. Last week's loss in Buffalo exposed weaknesses, pass rush, protection issues, and cornerback depth among them that lingered into this matchup. A slow start has plagued their season, prompting Mahomes to emphasize urgency post-game. This week, urgency was evident early. Mahomes opened by completing all 7 passes for 94 yards and a touchdown in the first quarter, leading the Chiefs to 10 points. His 35-yard strike to tight end Noah Gray marked Mahomes' first quarter touchdown pass this season, a notable milestone considering Kansas City's league-low 2.7 average points in opening quarters prior to this game. On the other side of the ball, Bryce Young had his best game of the season, torching the Chiefs' defense. The NFL's worst passing offense came alive, with Young throwing for 262 yards and a touchdown, which was a season high for him. Despite struggles in coverage, the real issue was the pass rush. The Chiefs failed to pressure Young without blitzing, and even when they did, Young managed to capitalize. The Panthers, typically run heavy, flipped the script by throwing on 8 of their first 10 first downs, converting 7 into new sets of downs. The Chiefs' own offensive line struggled, as both tackles, Jawan Taylor and Wanye Morris, were overpowered by a Panthers defensive line that ranks near the bottom of the league in pressure rate. The duo allowed over 10 pressures combined, including a pivotal sack on a 3rd down late in the game. The recent signing of DJ Humphries could provide relief, though his lack of recent action might complicate his readiness. Mahomes, however, found a bright spot in Noah Gray, who has emerged as a dependable target. Gray scored twice in Carolina, doubling his career total from the past 2 weeks. His first touchdown came on a blown coverage, while the second showcased trust and execution against a cover 0 blitz. Gray's growing connection with Mahomes was also evident last week in Buffalo, where he played a key role in one of the Chiefs' best drives of the season. Despite their uneven performances, the Chiefs remained the favorite for the AFC's top seed. Analytics showed their chances at 55% entering the week, and that outlook is unlikely to shift much after this result. Next up is a Black Friday showdown with the Raiders, but tougher opponents like the Chargers, Texans, Steelers, and Broncos are soon to come. Though none of those teams rank among the league's elite, the Chiefs' tendency to play close games suggests the road ahead won't be easy. Meanwhile, the Bills, coming off a bye, face a challenging stretch before wrapping up with more manageable opponents. In a few weeks, the playoff picture should come into sharper focus. Patrick Mahomes delivered a strong performance with 269 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and an additional 60 yards on 5 carries. His red zone connection with wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins allowed Mahomes to tie Hall of Fame quarterback Len Dawson for the most touchdown passes in Chiefs history. However, it wasn't all smooth sailing for the 3-time Super Bowl MVP, who was sacked 5 times in the game. Mahomes has been sacked 27 times already this season, and the #1 issue with this team so far seems to be the tackle situation. Before this matchup, Kansas City's offensive line had only allowed 12 sacks all season. Despite holding a 14-point lead at one point, the Chiefs narrowly escaped with a win over an opponent they were heavily favored to dominate. The Chiefs are no strangers to nail-biting victories, but this one seemed to weigh heavily on Mahomes. The 29-year-old quarterback appeared visibly frustrated, and he wasn't the only one. Wide receiver Xavier Worthy left the field stone-faced, while several defensive players exited the locker room with their heads down. Sensing the somber mood, head coach Andy Reid reportedly delivered a strong message to Mahomes and the team, addressing the unusual atmosphere and their need to refocus moving forward. A surprising update on Hollywood Brown surfaced ahead of Week 12's kickoff against the Carolina Panthers, suggesting the Chiefs' speedy wide receiver could return as early as Christmas. Kansas City is set to face the Steelers on December 25th, a matchup that poses a significant challenge due to Pittsburgh's formidable defense. While it was already expected that Brown would return before the end of the season, this is the first time a concrete timeline has been mentioned. According to Jonathan Jones of CBS Sports, Brown is eyeing a Christmas debut after recovering from the shoulder injury he sustained during the preseason. Meanwhile, Jones also noted that Charles Omenihu and Isaiah Pacheco are expected to return against the Raiders on November 29th. If Brown makes it back in time for the postseason, the Chiefs' offense will become even more explosive. While Xavier Worthy has emerged as a dangerous deep threat, he lacks the experience and proven production that Brown brings. A former 1,000-yard receiver, Brown's ability to stretch defenses vertically can open up opportunities underneath for stars like Travis Kelce and DeAndre Hopkins. With Rashee Rice sidelined for the season, Brown becomes the Chiefs' most accomplished receiver outside of Hopkins. Pairing the two would give Kansas City a dynamic duo that could strike fear into AFC opponents during the playoffs. The Kansas City Chiefs enter the week as heavy favorites, boasting a 13.5-point spread against the Las Vegas Raiders ahead of their second matchup of the season. The wide margin highlights the stark difference in the team's trajectories as the season enters its final stretch. Once again, the Chiefs sit atop of the AFC West, a familiar position after winning 8 consecutive division titles. With a multi-game lead over their nearest rivals, Kansas City is well on track to secure first place in the division for yet another year. At 10-1, they're also in prime position to claim the AFC's top seed. The 13.5-point spread also reflects Kansas City's dominance in this rivalry. The Chiefs have won 16 of their last 19 meetings against the Raiders, often by significant margins. Playing at Arrowhead Stadium, where Kansas City thrives, further boosts oddsmakers' confidence in their ability to cover the spread. Still, divisional games often defy expectations. Under interim head coach Antonio Pierce, the Raiders have shown they can surprise the Chiefs, as they did as recently as last season on Christmas. Known for their physicality, the Raiders' defense, led by Max Crosby, could disrupt Mahomes and make this contest even more competitive than the odds suggest. If the Chiefs want to win this game on Black Friday and win out the rest of the season, they're going to have to address their tackle situation, and Brett Veach already did by signing DJ Humphries. DJ Humphries hasn't been in the field and been in action in some time, but he's a former Pro Bowler and he found success with the Cardinals. The Chiefs desperately need help on the offensive line, as their interior is one of the best in the league, but specifically their left tackle situation has been really tough. Mahomes is very uncomfortable in the pocket. He's been sacked so many times, the most in his career so far this season, and because of this, because he's getting sacked so much, it's giving out and missing out on so many opportunities and big plays downfield. Mahomes, like I said, is uncomfortable and can't make a lot of the reads that he would like to because the pocket is constantly collapsing and the left side is always getting beat. Wanye Morris is in his second year and Kingsley Samatai is just not NFL ready. They both can barely hold a block and usually get beat one-on-one against their pass rusher. Hopefully DJ Humphries goes in there, he teaches them a ton, but also holds his own. They didn't make a phone call to Donovan Smith for a reason, and this is their most important gap to fill. Yeah, they need some help in the secondary and another cornerback, but if they can fix the offensive line struggles, Mahomes will have so many more opportunities to put more points on the board. Let me know down below what you think of this Chiefs game. Were you disappointed it was this close? And if you made it this far and you haven't already, make sure you go down below and you subscribe and you turn the notification bell on so you never miss a Chiefs video or any video at all. Leave a like as well. I greatly do appreciate it, and I'll see y'all in the next one.